Hey guys, welcome back. I have no idea when it dropped off. I apologize. I just looked over and saw that my stream audio had changed to something different there on my monitor. It's like, hey, what happened? I guess my internet decided to cut out. And I'm going to get it back up here. So anyway, on this invoice, I've got too many mice on my desk here. All right, cool. All right, we've got the invoice here. This is what came up. As part of that, my RO should also have a usage report. Clean up. All it takes is something like that to kind of really throw you off. I was sitting over here, and then all of a sudden my monitor just changes, and it's like, and I'm now watching another video on. It's like, what happened? And then I see that my page dropped off. So I apologize for that, and welcome back. And more than likely, everybody that got dropped off thought I ended it, but I apologize. As everybody comes back, if you want to go back and watch the beginning of this, go ahead. Okay, cool. All right, so 8204 was the RO. We added 2 lines to it. And instead of transmitting it to CCC, which we could have done, I just printed the invoice. And as soon as you print an invoice, it automatically closes the RO and puts it into a closed status. And then I also have the ability of doing a report, and we're going to do a parts usage report. And we're going to do Worth USA, and we're going to do August 2nd through August 2nd display. And here are the items that we used on the jobs that we did today. And this other one was a part that I tested earlier just to make sure the barcode scanner was working. So in this one day, I had three sets of items to scan out. And because I have new items on there, the cost isn't showing up correctly. I'll have to go back and fix that. But anyway, there is showing I billed out $27.14. There is a bug with SIS is if you have a legacy account and you see these 0 costs of these items. The reason is that the SIS carried over your numbers from before we launched SIS Next. It has a super simple fix, and I'll show you how to do that. All right. Nothing like operating without a wire. So I have 2 parts here that I need to reactivate, for a lack of a better description. Come in here and force the SIS to go get a price for that. Now, one of the things you saw on there is that it's showing a 0 cost. 0508228823. Not a 0 cost. It's showing a 0 markup. Now, the way that SIS works is that if it sees, it's assuming that everything needs to be marked up. So if I'm showing a 0% markup, it is going to use whatever the default markup is for this particular item. So while this screen shows 34 cents, the markup actually, under my shops, Joe Newbert Collision, my markup is 100%. So it's going to double whatever it is. So 34 cents, that's 68 cents. 44 is that? Yeah, 68 cents. Math was never my strong suit. And so it's going to use whatever the default is. Now, if I go back, and I'm not sure if that report is going to show that parts usage, but anytime I use those particular products going forward, it should have that on the ticket. So we're going to do another, let's go find 8204. We're going to correct our error. And we're going to add helps to click in the box. 050822823. Search. 13 and 14. Now what is that invoice number 385 is going to have the same dollar figure to it. Click the checkbox, click print. This time let's do the extended. There we go. Our costs are showing up now. So now if I print a parts usage report, parts usage, 82 through 82, display. Now you're going to see that your cost, see the first one showed 0, the next one's going to show $8.58. We're billing it out at $17.16. I know it's kind of a pain in the rear, but like I said, if you've got a brand new account since May of last year, this should not be an issue for you. But the thing is, most people are not printing the usage report, so a lot of people may, as long as they're getting paid on the front end or the back end, I should say, during the supplement phase, they should be not even seeing this issue, even though that it might be there. So because we're diving deep into the bowels of the program, you're going to see all of its warts, and it is an issue, but it's not one of those things that affects everybody all the time. It's one of those specialty items, and because of being in tech support for a long time, I knew how to fix it fairly easily. And the thing is, that item shouldn't come back up as an issue ever again for those particular part numbers that we forced an update for. All right, cool. All right, I've got hopefully some people joining back into the stream, and we'll go ahead and go here for another few more minutes. So here, we've talked about the ABRN magazine. I highly recommend. There's another one called Body Shop Business Magazine. And the Body Shop Business Magazine is one that get my big head up here. Body Shop Business Magazine is the other one, and I subscribe to that one as a email notification whenever they have articles that come out. There are some amazing articles in that magazine talking about everything from the body shop collision industry environment that it's in right now, things that are coming. One of the articles that I found really interesting is that a lot of artificial intelligence is being applied to the collision industry, and I find that interesting because there's a lot of similarities, and it's through learning of particular things. If you have percentages of a car, let's say, for example, you have a Chevy Malibu, just use that as an example. And in 85% of collisions, when a Chevy Malibu is rear-ended, then this particular part is almost always needing to be, let's say the bumper, a bumper reinforcement. I don't know. I'm not a car guy. I'm a computer guy. So let's say that in 85% of wrecks, that bumper retainer needs to be replaced every time. And there are a lot of companies like CCC, for example, have years of data backing them up when it comes to talking about these particular repairs that they're doing on these cars. So if you know that this particular repair has a high likelihood of needing to be replaced, then the AI can jump in and say, hey, this is a rear end collision on a Chevy Malibu, and we'll confirm it, but more than likely, these are the parts you're going to need for this particular job. And this is based upon what we've learned in the machine, in the estimating process, with tens of thousands of estimates being written every year. So AI is taking that machine learning and applying it to make estimators not obsolete, but it makes them more efficient in writing those estimates. And I know a lot of estimators wish they could have a little more time in the day. I've sat with many of them as they're pulling their hair out trying to make sure that they didn't miss anything in the parts order, or they're not missing something in the process, or they're making sure that the car is going to get delivered in time. And something like this could be an extra help to them to make sure that everything that's on that job gets put on that job to make more accurate estimating. Of course, like I said, everything's going to have to be confirmed. Boy, my throat is giving out on me. All right, cool. Well, we got about 10 minutes here, and it looks like the stream definitely messed us up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. Guys, I do appreciate you. I do appreciate taking the time to tune into the call and seeing what the SIS can do for you as a rep and do for you as a customer. And this program has the capability of doing a lot of really cool things. And I say that as a computer guy. When I see cool things, it's like, oh, wow, it's like shiny button. Let's check that out. The SIS is more of the creating income that a lot of shops are, and that's what was talking about in this article, was watching the numbers. And the article was talking about there are items in the shop that you've got to be careful with the way you plan your profitability. And when I say plan, my parents owned a small trucking company. I've said this in other videos, and I'll kind of be quick about it. My parents owned a small trucking company. And a lot of the things you have to figure in is like, okay, well, what can you pay the drivers based upon what we're earning on this trip? Let's say it's a 1,000-mile trip round to the paid miles, and you have 1,000 miles, and the driver gets so much money per mile, and the customer is willing to pay this amount. So it's always this cost benefit analysis. Is like, okay, well, do we hire this company or this company to make this run? And you need to be competitive, because you don't want to be the cheapest and not be profitable, because you're going to have to cut corners. And you also don't want to be the most expensive, because then you might be sitting around in a shop by yourself and with nothing to work on. So you got to find that happy medium of what you can get done with work. But then again, you also don't want to be the shop that just gets by. You want to make a profit. You want to be able to expand what you're doing. You want to be able to add personnel. You want to add capability. You want to, fund your kids' college fund if you can. And so, coming from the small business aspect of it, and a lot of these collision centers we're talking to are small businesses. Even if you're a large dealership and you've got a collision center, there's a possibility that you have a very small business mindset of, it's like, okay, we are the collision center at this dealership. Being a part of the dealership is great, but we're not getting a lot of business from sales. We're not getting a lot of business from the parts department. It is the customers that are coming back to us. And so I have to make sure that the customers that are coming back to us have a good experience with the collision. They may not even have ever bought a car from you before, but they were that collision center that they called upon because you were part of that dealership, or they just really like the way that you do business. So when it comes to being profitable and being able to use SIS as part of that profitability is that you don't want to leave money on the table. You don't want to give away. It's like, I always use the example that you've got a car that's coming through and you've built out 99.9% of the fasteners on the job, And as you're in the finishing lane, you notice that there's a 194 light bulb that just is not working. It may be related to the accident. It may not be. You don't know. But, to keep the customer happy and to keep them from wanting to say, you know what, they should have fixed that or they should have replaced it, you just go ahead and replace it. So, okay, great. You're out of 194 light bulb. Not the end of the world. And you may let something like that slide. But in the repair process, you've got $200 worth of fasteners. You got $75 worth of seam sealer. You've got, some zinc-rich weld-through primer. You've got all these different things that you could charge for, and you don't want to give that stuff away. So you may not capture 100%, but if you can get more than 50, you're doing good, because at 100% markup, you're breaking even, and it's a lot better than where you started. But I'm in there to say this. SIS is that program that has the capability of really taking a shop and making it a hugely successful endeavor. Because what you're doing you're not taking the items that are on the supplement side, even though that we're a lot less than what your aftermarket sheet metal is. We're going to be a lot less than what you're spending in paint. We're going to be a lot less than the labor that you're going to be spending on, but that is one more cost. And like what this article was talking about, that's one more cost that you can start recovering because you've already got the car in the shop. You just need that receipt in order to get paid. And that's what SIS is going to do for you. Guys, we'll be back in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, we'll do this again. And if we have anything that we want to show and talk, or you want to call in and see that show, man, I would love to have you and be able to bring you on. I'm Dave Laymon. I'm your SIS technical support person. My cell phone is also the call-in number, area code 865-310-4880. The tech line is 800-864-6561. Guys, have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.